Hi there, creative friends. This is Becca with Amazing Paper Grace. I haven't done a video in quite some time, but this one comes as a request, and I'm happy to do it. I recently made a little basket with the Amazing Paper Grace die of the month for December, and several people asked how to make it, so that's what we're working on today. I have three different samples that I'm sharing with you today. There are lots of options, and we're going to make one of these. They're pretty simple. Here's the die we're going to be using. It's a big die. We're going to use the frame. We'll use two of the inlays and we'll also use the oval. And I achieved the look I want by suspending each of the inlays with washi tape. We need to cut two of these motifs. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of 12-inch by 12-inch paper in half, and I'll use half at a time. If you flip the die over, you'll notice that there's a score line on one side. That score line needs to be at the bottom when we cut so that we don't cut off our excess paper. And when you put your paper on your platform, it needs to be tilted somewhat so that all of the cutting lines aren't parallel. I like to run through once and then bring the platform back out toward me, remove my plates, tilt to the other way, and run through again just to make sure that it's cut. This is a really beautiful die, so I've taken time to emboss it just to bring out the best, and then after that I remove it from the paper. Since I've removed die cut paper from the edge, sometimes you have just a little notch sticking out. I'm going to take this to my paper cutter and trim it up. This is a motif that's designed to score in half, and so I've done that, and I've moved the score all the way over to the left side of my scoreboard because we need a couple of additional lines, one at 2.5 inches and one at 5 inches. We're going to trim off everything past the 5 inches. So I'm going to pull out my cutter to trim that, and this is something we need to do to both pieces. Then what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and I'm flexing all of the score lines. You can kind of see how everything is falling into place. You'll fold over the pattern part and then flex the lines, and what you have here is basically half of the basket. To make this secure, I'm going to go ahead and take some white glue and glue around the bottom of the motif so that I can fold it over and it's going to make a sturdier flap. Next, I need to join these two pieces together bottom to bottom. So I'm doing that with two pieces of score tape, and I'll just remove the liner and then join them together, and that forms the bulk of our basket. Next, from the same paper I've been using, I need a 12-inch strip that's cut 3.5 inches wide. I'm going to score on each side at the half-inch mark. So that means that on the long edges and also on the short edges. And then additionally, I'm going to score at 3 inches. I have a little bit of trimming to do, so on the long edge, I'm going to trim a couple of chunks out that you can see here. That's going to make it so that it'll fit in the bottom of our basket. Then on each corner, I'm going to trim off those little boxes. And then once we're done with that, I do a diagonal cut on each flap so that it will fold very nicely. I've flexed all of the score lines, and on the two ends I'm going to fold them over and secure them with score tape. It gives me a really nice finished edge. And then at each end where we've created tabs, I'm going to take score tape and line the entire tab. Now to start putting things together, I'm going to take that piece with the tabs and it's going to go at the bottom of our basket. I'll flex on all of the score lines and then I'll engage the adhesive. Since we've scored all the lines, this should go together very easily. If you like, you can put a little bit of extra adhesive on the piece that we inserted in the bottom of the basket, but we've got it together and this is pretty much your basket. And so to finish off, I thought I would wrap ribbon around it and then add a bow for an elegant final touch. Now for the closure, you can do a couple of different things. I used a little glue dot. You can use Velcro, or you don't have to do anything. It just depends on the purpose of the basket. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you'll click like so that I know this is the kind of content that you're looking for. And please, please don't forget to subscribe. If you're curious about the Amazing Paper Grace Die of the Month Club, I put the links below.